Magandang araw, grade 10. We are still on the gas law and we are to talk about the second gas law and we'll find it out what's that. Before proceeding, I would like to clarify some differences regarding these words or how they are actually written. So to begin with, these words like the words Pascal, Kelvin, Celsius written in big letter, we are actually referring to the scientists. Okay, but if they are written in small letters like in this one that I am underlining, we are actually referring to the unit named after the different scientists. Like in Pascal, when we write it in shortcut form, PA, and that is all about the pressure. But if it's Kelvin, symbol is big letter K, we are talking of the temperature. And last but not the least, it's actually degrees Celsius but in big letter C, and still we are talking of the temperature in the different unit only. Before proceeding again, let's quickly review our previous gas law. Okay, so please pause and think of the answer and you may comment down below. Number 1, which pair of quantities are related according to Boyle's law? A. Mass and volume. B. Pressure and temperature. C. Volume and pressure. Or D. Volume and number of moles. The correct answer is volume and pressure. Number 2. Which pair of quantities are constant according to Boyle's law? A. Mass and volume. B. Pressure and temperature. C. Volume and temperature. D. Temperature and the number of moles of gas. The correct answer is temperature and the number of moles of the gas. Number 3. If you are to plot the relationship stated in Boyle's law, what will be the resulting shape of the graph? A. Smooth straight line. B. Parabola. C. Hyperbola. Or D. Circular. The correct answer is C. Hyperbola. Next question. Which equation does not describe Boyle's law? A. P is equal to the constant over volume. B. Constant is equal to the product of pressure and volume. C. The product of the pressure and volume of the initial values is equal to the product of the pressure and volume of the final values. Or D. The initial pressure is equal to the product of the final pressure and initial volume all over the final volume. The correct answer is letter D. Tandaan sa Boyle's law, kung sino ang katabi niyang value, I mean P1 V1 o di kaya P2 V2. Alright. Next, if the pressure of the gas doubled as the temperature and the number of moles of gas are held constant, what happens to its volume? A. Reduced to half. B. Nothing happens. C. Doubles. Or D. Triples. The correct answer is it is reduced to half. Let's proceed with the gas law number 2. The essential learning competency for the next gas law is we are going to investigate the relationship between volume and temperature at a constant pressure of the gas. Our specific objectives for this lesson is number 1, we are going to plot and graph the volume of a gas against temperature given a sample data that I will show to you later on. And we are going to state Charles' law. Therefore, this is our second gas law for today, symbolically and mathematically. Number 3, solve problems relating to Charles' law. And last but not the least, we are going to cite situations where Charles' law is observed. From our essential learning competency, we will be able, and it is expected for you to answer this question as our problem for today. What is the relationship between volume of a fixed amount of gas and its temperature at constant pressure? Looking at these two illustrations, there is a difference between the temperature 1 and the temperature 2. Also with that, there is also a difference that you can notice about the volume that the gas occupies. So this is only the amount of temperature on our first illustration, and this is only the volume that the gas occupies. And second illustration, our temperature has been increased for a certain value, and looking at this volume that it occupies, what can you infer from this one? Sample data. In this table, you can see, and according to the statement, the volume is a result from the changing temperature. So we manipulate here the temperature values of the gas, beginning with 150 Kelvin, resulting to 5 liters of gas, and so on and so forth. Question number 1. What happens to the volume of the gas when the temperature increases? So the temperature increases if we are observing from trial 1 down to trial number 6. Therefore, as we will see, the volume of the gas also increases from trial 1 to trial 6. Therefore, the answer here is the volume of the gas increases when temperature increases. For question number 2, what happens to the volume of the gas when the temperature decreases? We will observe it starting from trial 6 up to the table. So it's 400 Kelvin, 350 Kelvin, 300, and so on. The volume is resulting to 13.4 liters, 11.7 liters, and as you proceed also. Therefore, what we can say is that the volume of the gas also decreases when temperature decreases. So we can say that whenever your temperature is increasing, our volume also increasing, and vice versa. That means decreasing temperature resulting to a decreasing volume of the gas. If we are going to plot this data, volume against the temperature, and as I have mentioned a while ago, from the statement itself here, the volume results from a changing temperature. Question, which quantity is the independent variable? And which quantity is the dependent variable? Going on, our independent variable is the temperature because that is the one that we are manipulating. And we said a while ago that, again, the volume is the result of the changing temperature. The temperature is then to be plotted on the x-axis. For question number 2, which quantity is the dependent variable? And that is now our volume. The volume of the gas is the dependent variable, which will be plotted on the y-axis. Therefore, if we are to plot and graph it using a graphing software, this could be the result of our volume temperature graph. Again, temperature is on the x-axis and the volume is on the y-axis. Looking at here, these are our points or our data from the previous slides. And the resulting shape is, as you can notice, this is what we call a smooth, straight line graph. Okay, a smooth straight line graph describes that whenever our dependent variable is increasing as it proceeds to the right, our data on the y going up, our graph is also increasing. So a smooth straight line graph will always tell us that there is a direct relationship between the two quantities. And in our case, for our Charles law, our volume and the temperature have a direct relationship. Let's discuss the graph that we have showed a while ago. Number 1, what is the shape of the graph line? And we have mentioned that the shape of the graph line can be described as a smooth straight line. And that will always tell us that the relationship between the quantities is direct proportionality. Number two, what is the value of the k? Are they all the same? What physical quantity do this represent? The value of the k is always our constant, like in the previous video lesson about the Boyle's law. The k is telling us that it was held constant in the performance of an experiment relating to the volume and temperature relationship. So in this case, from our previous data, the value of the K is around 0.03 liter Kelvin. Bakit liter Kelvin ang unit? It was taken from the ratio between the volume and the temperature. And this value of K is telling us that this is actually the constant pressure of the gas. So from our problem a while ago, it was stated that the pressure of the gas was held constant. Okay? Because you're only taking the relationship between the volume and temperature whenever the pressure is held constant. Therefore, we are going now to express the volume-temperature relationship in the following forms. Number one, in sentence form. We can say this as follows. The volume of a fixed amount of gas is directly proportional to its temperature at constant pressure. Again, as it was mentioned last time, we will always state first whatever is on the y-axis, and the volume was on the y when we plotted it. Then, state the relationship directly proportional because it was a smooth straight line, and followed by the quantity on the x-axis, which is our temperature, stating at the last part which is the constant. So again, the sentence form is the volume of a fixed amount of gas is directly proportional to its temperature at constant pressure. In writing the symbol form, remember we start again with the y using the proportionality symbol alpha, then what is ever on the x. Since it is directly proportional, we simply write it as x. But we know already that y is volume and x is temperature. We could write the symbol form as follows. Volume is directly proportional to the temperature. And we will simply change the alpha or the proportionality symbol into equal sign, introduce the k, and then the x. And since we already have the exact symbol for the quantities, we could now rewrite it as V, or the volume, is equal to KT, or the temperature. In finalizing or rearranging as well, finding the K value, we can actually rewrite it as K is equal to volume over temperature. And that was how our value a while ago, 0.03 liter atmosphere, was taken. Remember to always also state the at constant pressure and number of moles for this Charles law relationship. So I'll leave this up to you to answer this question, because we have been mentioning this since a while ago. What is the relationship between volume of a fixed amount of gas and its temperature at constant pressure? Formally stating, what is Charles' law? Charles' law states that the volume of a gas it occupies is directly related or directly proportional to its temperature when the pressure and the amount of gas, or the number of moles of gas, which is N, are constant. Therefore, we can say here that if temperature decreases, then volume also decreases, and vice versa. Looking at the illustration on the right side of the screen, ice water, meaning it maybe have a lower temperature. Then a boiling water, it would be having a high temperature. Looking at the shape or the volume of these two balloons, we could expect that the balloon submerged in ice water would have a lower volume, and a balloon that was submerged in a boiling water would increase its shape, therefore having an increase in volume as well, as stated in the Charles law. Let's have some applications here of the Charles law. And number one that I can share to you is the hot air balloon. Hot air balloons in the Philippines are celebrated. I can't exactly remember when, but it is usually celebrated in Pampanga. How does Charles law apply here? Looking at this video, in the morning, they are starting to heat up the balloon. So, umpisa, nakahiga sila sa lupa, then inaapoyan na sila. So, when the air has been heated, the air or the gas inside the balloon that was trapped will expand. So, increased in temperature, the volume of the gas or the air that is trapped inside there will expand its space inside the balloon. So, lumalaki siya. Okay? Ibang usapan na yung bakit siya aangat. Okay, yun na lang muna. So, when the air that is trapped inside the balloon is heated, so it will expand its shape. Therefore, lumalaki yung lobo, tsaka siya umaangat nga. Number two is the Charles law in relation to our tires. Sakto ngayon, I have created this video lesson on a period or on a time na napakainit. So, anong relationship or ano ang nangyayari sa gulong na to? So, the car is in contact with the ground. Okay? Then, it causes friction. The friction will cause the heating of the whole tire. So, mainitan yung gulong. Therefore, the heat will be transferred to the air molecules that is also trapped inside the tire. Diba? So, nainitan siya, the gas molecules inside the tire will try to expand, to escape kung makaka-escape nga. Pero dahil hindi siya makaka-escape because it's a sealed one, it will just try to push the walls of our car tire. In that case, kaya kapag biyahe ka pa rin ng biyahe at napakainit, lalo na yung kalsada ay naiinitan, it will be resulting to an expansion of the car tire, eventually resulting also to car explosion. Kaya ang remedy tuwing ikaw ay babiyahe on a hot summer day or a hot sunny day, magpahinga from time to time, especially if you are traveling in a long distance road. I would like to emphasize that in our Charles law, okay, you will always be converting your temperature scales into the Kelvin unit because there is what we call a zero value if you have not converted it into our temperature. Okay? Ano yung sinasabi kong zero value dito? Looking at this one, okay, the graph, similar to our graph a while ago, if we are given with a temperature that is in 0 degrees, di ba? 0 degrees, ibig sabihin, nandito yung 0 degrees. Okay, that's not yet the absolute zero. The 0 degrees here, we will see that there is still a volume that the gas occupies. Okay? Tapos, kapag ka naman nakakuha ka ng negative value na temperature in the degree Celsius, meron pa rin yan. Like in this case, for example, this is a negative temperature. Meron pa rin yan. Pagdating dito, this is our absolute zero. Okay? And this is actually equivalent to negative 273 degree Celsius. And that is actually also our 0 Kelvin. It's not okay, it's 0 Kelvin. Okay? Pero, ano rin ang ibig sabihin nito? Why am I emphasizing as well that you should convert your temperature into Kelvin values? Kasi mamaya kapag ka nag-solve tayo ng problems in relation to Charles law, Remember, anything that you multiply with 0 will give you a value that is already 0. Samantalang ang ulit, kapag ka 0 degrees Celsius ang ating temperature, it tells us that the gases is still existing, it still occupies space, kaya may value ka pa rin makukuha kung tutuusin. So, hindi pwedeng direkta ka magsa-substitute that the 0 degrees Celsius is given to you or any other temperature, dapat convert it always to Kelvin. Ang simpleng ano lang naman natin is that for we to get Kelvin scale or values, your measure of the degree Celsius given to you plus 273 Kelvin. Sometimes other references will give you 273.15 Kelvin. So this is just a meme telling you that you can't have Charles' law if you don't have the temperature in Kelvin. So don't always forget to convert any temperature given to you into Kelvin unit. Let us finalize the equation form of the Charles' law. Since volume and temperature of the gas can be varied, pwede nating baguhin yan. We'll let V1 and T1 be our initial volume and initial temperature values respectively. And if we are varying it nga, we can let V2 and T2 be our final volume and final temperature respectively. Therefore, sabi nga natin kanina, they have a constant value K. So we can have it K is equal to V1 over T1. So sa second values natin, it's just simply the same as K equals V2 over T2. Combining these two, we can now formally state Charles' law in equation form as follows. V1 all over T1 is equal to V2 all over T2. Some books will give you this way. V1 T2 is equal to V2 T1. Ano lang naman ang nangyari dyan? So, parang nag-cross multiply ka lang naman dyan, giving you that value as well. Okay? So, we can manipulate this equation if we want to find some other values given the rest of the other quantities. Like, for example, if we are asked to find the V1, diba? We can isolate V1 from T2 by means of dividing both sides by T2. Therefore, as simple as the T2 will cancel out on the other side, but T2 is still on the other part, we can have V1 is now equal to V2 T1 all over T2. Okay, that's how we derive with our other values. Therefore, we can have the following. Again, a while ago, V1 is equal to V2 times T1 all over T2. We can also have V2, which is equal to V1 times T2 all over T1. For temperature 1, it's equal to V1 all over T2. Sorry, T1 is equal to V1 times T2 all over V2. And for the T2, it is equal to V2 times T1 all over V1. It is not recommended that you memorize these four equations, but what is recommended to you is to understand and transform the original Charles' law equation that was given in the previous slide. Alright, so there is a sample problem and it's already solved, but let us check again if the solutions are correct. An expandable piston holds a volume of 15 ml or milliliters at 20 degrees Celsius. The temperature of the piston is reduced to negative 58 degrees Celsius. What is the new volume of the piston? So, volume 1 is 15 ml and this was it. Temperature 1, correspondingly with the 15 ml, was measured to be 20 degrees Celsius. So as it was also mentioned a while ago, all temperature units must be converted to Kelvin unit. So it's given here 20 degrees Celsius. If you're going to add 273 Kelvin, and that will result to 293 Kelvin. So that's correct. The temperature of the piston is reduced. Big sabihin, bumaba daw ang temperature, and it was now negative 58 degrees Celsius. And it still need to be converted, so negative 58 plus 273 Kelvin, it must result to a value that is lower than 293 kasi nga na-reduce. So if you're going to check it, it must be 215 Kelvin. Accordingly, the question or the required is what is the volume of the piston. So we are now referring it to the final volume. And V2, from our Charles law equation, it will be V2 equals V1 times T2 all over T1. Substituting it, V1 is 15 ml, then T2 is 215 Kelvin, divided by the T1 which is 293 Kelvin. Magka-cancel out nga lang ang temperature units. Therefore, continue with our solution. 15 ml times 215 is equal to 3,225. Remaining unit will be ml or the milliliters divided by 293 again. So on your solution, the final answer should be 11.0 ml. Check your own answer, okay? So final answer or writing the final answer, it's simply the new volume of the piston is 110 ml when the temperature is reduced. Okay? Ay, sorry. 11.0. Okay, hindi 110. 11.0. Okay? So 11.0. Kasi nga dapat, since temperature has been decreased, dapat ang volume mo will also decrease. So it's 11.0, not 110. Okay, I stand corrected. Problem number 2 with another solution. 3 liters of hydrogen at negative 20 degrees Celsius is allowed to warm to reach a volume of 3.56 liters. What is the temperature required to attain this volume at constant pressure? Okay, volume 1, 3 liters. Baka malito kayo, hindi nakasulat yung number, pero from the word itself sa umpisa, 3 liters. So volume 1 is 3 liters. Temperature 1 at 3 liters is negative 20 degrees Celsius. We add 273 Kelvin. So it must result to 253 Kelvin. Then it was warm to reach a volume of 3.56 liters. So 3.56 liters to achieve the final temperature. Tandaan, yung volume natin ay tumaas, kaya dapat ang sagot natin sa temperature ay mataas din. Mas mataas sa 253 Kelvin. So, solving it using the equation for temperature 2. So, again, it's V2 times T1 all over V1. So, substituting the values that we have, 3.56 liters times the 253 Kelvin, our temperature 1, divided by the volume 1, which is 3 liters. Cancel the units of liters because what we are finding later on is only the temperature, kaya Kelvin ang unit na matitira. 3.56 times 253 will give us 900.68. Divided by 3, and that will be roughly around 300 Kelvin. So from 253 Kelvin, naging 300 Kelvin, it satisfies our assumption a while ago that volume increases, the temperature should also increase. So writing our final answer, 300 Kelvin is the required to attain 3.56 liters at constant pressure. Alright, so this ends our video lesson number 2 for the second gas law, which is your Charles law, the relationship between volume and temperature of the gas at constant pressure. If you have questions or comments, please don't hesitate to post a comment or send me a PM or an email. Thank you and goodbye.